Let's do this again. Have you ever felt like you have to earn the right to rest? Like, if you're not constantly doing something, you're somehow falling behind. Like, there's this quiet, gnawing pressure that if you stop, even for a moment, everything will fall apart. And yet, when I look out my window, nothing in nature seems to carry that weight. The trees aren't frantic. They don't strive. They don't hustle. They don't rush to prove they're worthy. They are just allowed to be. When I look at the sky, it doesn't rush. Or the flowers, they don't apologize for taking their time. They just are. Planted, rooted, being. And I can't help but wonder, why don't we let ourselves live that way too? This afternoon, I took the time to pot the flowers I bought. Simple, quiet, nothing dramatic. But as my hands pressed into the soil, I felt something in me settle. This was not productivity, this was presence. It reminded me that not every day needs to be large, profound, dramatic to be meaningful. That sometimes tending to something slow and alive can reconnect us to ourselves in a way no huge achievement ever could. I think about how often we live outside of ourselves, how often anxiety pulls us out of the moment into the next thing, into the next fear, into the next version of ourselves we're told we have to become. Isn't that what anxiety does? It pulls us out of the present and drags us into the future, into the what ifs, into the not yet, into the ache of just not being enough today. But God never asked us to perform like that. In Genesis, he said, be fruitful and multiply. But he never said strive. He never said burn yourself out to prove you're worthy of the fruit you produce. He created us like trees to be fruitful and to produce, but not through striving, through abiding.
Thank you, honey. That's great. Thank you.
With rhythm, with grace, with rest, with trust. And maybe the real invitation is not to do more, but to do less with more presence.
Okay. Absolutely butchering it, but God can bring dead things back to life.
It will always be quality over quantity for me. to breathe, to let go, to root down ourselves in what matters. So if your today feels slow, if it feels small, don't rush through it. Don't try to fill it with more. Tend to what's in front of you. Water what you already have, and let the light touch your skin, and just be. Just be, beloved. Just be. Genesis 2:2. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made. So the Almighty, the all-powerful, the all-knowing rested on the seventh day, not because he was tired, but because he was done. Because rest was a part of the design. Rest is part of the divine. He didn't just suggest rest, he commanded it, because he knew that without it, we would lose ourselves in a world that just never stops. A world that worships hustle, a world that inadvertently praises burnout and wears exhaustion like a badge of honor. But was our soul really made to live at that pace? Come. There is power in a Sabbath rest, not just a day off, but a rhythm, a resistance, a holy refusal to believe that our worth is measured by our productivity, our activity. Let's be real. Don't let anyone lie to you. Being is not laziness. Being is not equivalent to laziness. Being is divine. And sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is to be present. I heard a quote that said, when we are present, that's when we are in God's presence, right? How beautiful is that? When we are present, that is when we are in God's presence. God meets us only in the present moment, not in the past that breeds regret, not in the future that produces anxiety, but right here in this breath, this moment, this day. Jesus taught us how to pray, and one of the lines in there was, give us this day our daily bread. Not tomorrow's bread, not 2 weeks' bread, not 3 weeks' bread, but Lord, give me what I need for today only, and let that be sufficient for me. But it's so easy to miss it, right? To overlook the sacred in the simple, to rush past the little miracles that happen every day. Or when we choose to be fully, tenderly present. It reminds me of a story of Elijah. And to paraphrase, God was about to encounter him, and explains that there was earthquakes, thunder, all these loud sounds, but it says God wasn't in any of it. And then it says God came to Elijah in a still, small voice. And sometimes we think that God is in the crowds, or in the big worship concert, or in the large congregations, or in church buildings where the noise is happening. But more times, God is here in the quiet, in the still, in the present moment. And in that, we realize that it's not the big moments that really define us. It's not the hustle that makes us whole. It is not the hustle that makes us whole. Our identity, my identity, is not built on what we do. It is rooted in who we are. And who we are is good enough. It reminds me of the creation story in Genesis, how after every day of God's creation, after he was finished working, he said, it was good, it was good, it was good. And on the sixth day, when he made man, he said, it is very good. So you, as you are in your state now, are very, very good, complete, whole, lacking nothing. Who you are is enough. God never used the word perfect to describe the creation. He said it was good. And I don't know about you guys, but if I was to choose between the word perfect or good, I would always lean towards good. It just sounds more wholesome. Perfect sounds static. It sounds stale. There's no excitement in it. But he said his creation was good. And that's what I lean into. But how often do we try to perfect every single moment, every single day? How often do we try to squeeze the last drop of juice out of every day before we go to bed? It's like recently I've been thinking about how truly wise my mum and grandma were. Mum still is, especially as they spoke to me in my formative years. Like, my mum never sat down to talk to me or give me a lesson about anything, but it was always in those small moments, those little nuggets, those little catchphrases that she would always say. And I remember being super stressed my last year of university, and I was up late, and I remember she came to me and she would always say, Deb is what she called me for short, after her namesake, of course. And she would always say, Deb, tomorrow is another day. And it's just so simple, but it always brought me so much peace, so much calm, that I felt like I don't have to stay up all night. I can go to bed. Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is a new start. I don't have to cram everything out of the day. And it reminds me of a verse in the Bible that I really like. And I'm not going to paraphrase, I'm going to try and find it. Psalm 127, verse 2, it says, it is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so God gives his beloved sleep. I don't know about you, but it always warms my heart because I am his beloved. So rest at night is a gift from God. He says it's vain to stay up late worrying, concerned about anything. Go to bed. Tomorrow is another day. So that's what I want to offer to you guys. Tomorrow is another day. We don't have to try and perfect each day. But I think it's just that very Western propensity to want to cram everything into one day and then wake up the next day and cram everything into that day as well. It's like we think that if we do that, we will feel proud of our productivity, we will feel satisfied. But the sad reality is that we actually never do. We always feel stressed. We feel more stressed. And we feel like when we wake up in the next day in the morning, it's like, let's go again. Constantly chasing our tail around and round and round. And as many of you guys know, I'm from the Caribbean, and I'd always refer to my country as slow. And I remember spending 2 weeks in Antigua a few years ago, and when I came back, it felt like I'd been gone for 2 months, honestly. It's like every day there stretched just a little bit longer. Like if we have 24 hours, it's like they almost have 27 hours or something. It feels very drawn out. It's a place wrapped in ease, in warmth, in rest, in Sabbath. And to be honest, even though I loved it, I love going to the Caribbean because of that very reason. I think a part of me would always say it as a complaint, like, the Caribbean's slow, man. The Caribbean is slow. But I think it's because my Western mind wasn't able to explain that type of peace, that type of ease, that kind of presence. It's the beach, the still water. It's the sitting down to eat as a family, jumping in the pool, the laughter, the food, the drink, the stories. For some of us to live like that on a daily basis feels like a crime, especially in the Western world. It feels like we're almost cheating life just by enjoying it. How sad. But what if we're not cheating life by enjoying it? What if the real crime is a life without margin, a life without boundaries, a life without stop, a life without log off for the day, a life without time to just sit still? You need time to breathe. What if the healthiest rhythm of life includes both work and rest? Not as opposites, but as partners. What if we actually stop feeling guilty for taking a day off to be with our families, or choosing to do nothing on a day that is free? And free doesn't mean let me cram as much as I can into it. Even if they're good activities, even if they're not work, we don't have to cram our days full schedule back to back. What if that slower rhythm of life isn't lazy, but is actually very wise? So here's a challenge for all of us. May we put down the pressure. May we step back from the race and come home to ourselves. Come home to this day. Come home to the God that delights not just in your doing, but even more in your being. You were never created to outrun your worth or even to earn it. You were created, beloved, to walk with God in the cool of the day and just simply be. So I have something for you guys, a special gift. If you guys would like a summary of every video that I put out, just a little something to hold on to as the screen fades, I have created Breeny's wisdom notes just for you. For the price of a bottle of water, you will receive a downloadable, printable reflection after each video, complete with journal prompts and practical tips to help you embody what you've just heard. And as a member of this slow and soulful community, you'll also receive priority replies on YouTube from moi, a little badge beside your name that says I am part of this. And twice a year, you will be invited to Unrushed, our private live gathering where we breathe, believe, reflect, and connect together. To join, just click the join button beneath this video. I would love to have you guys a lot closer.